DJ and PK, don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. Today on Win Tickets Wednesday, we're giving away Sturgill Simpson tickets, Maverick Center, September 17th for the show. Listen all day. We're getting the tickets away probably in about 45 minutes right here on our show, but all the shows have tickets, so you'll have a chance to win all day long right here on The Zone. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone, and we are joined right now by Riley Jensen, college football expert and mental performance coach. Riley, good morning.
Good morning. What's happening, folks?
Well, your Aggies are going to play the Utes in Logan, and that doesn't happen very often, so that's a big story all by itself. And then, as you have probably heard, Cam Rising went and hurt his hand, got shoved into the old Gatorade table. So,
Yeah.
Kyle's playing at Coy. You know, Monday he says we don't announce anything. Tuesday he says, hey, this is, Brandon Rose, who's asked. Brandon Rose is QB2, and he looked good. But it's, it's early in the week, so, and maybe Cam will be back on Thursday or Friday. Who knows? Maybe he'll play on Saturday. He's gonna do the dance. Let's go ahead and assume that a freshman quarterback who's played in each of the first two games is about to get his first start. What would you do with the game plan? What do you think? What would you expect?
Well, just looking at the way Utah State has played so far and the way the Utes have been able to play, I mean, I think you go back to your roots, which is really, really solid defense, good special teams, pound the rock, keep the quarterback protected, take care of the football. I mean, this is why Kyle Whittingham built himself a career and really built himself a lot of wins on not worrying about whether there was a good quarterback in the system. And I think that's the formula for a win this weekend. I think that's the formula that he's used for years, except for when Cam Rising has been in the system.
You are eyeball deep in high school quarterbacks. You know all about them. You know about whoever is coming up and who's gone, all that stuff. And you understand the programs that are out there and the quality that there is with the coaching. And I'm wondering, when you get a kid like a Wilson who comes in a system that he's the latest in an assembly line, and it looks like, we've already got one pro and we're going to have at least one more, if not multiple more down the line, going from where he played in high school into the NFL and college and all that. With that in mind, how much does it prepare you to play at the college level early, coming from a high school system like he was in?
That's a good question.
Of course it is. I asked it.
I'm not sure that. I think playing in Eric Kerr's system, and I think the demanding nature of Eric Kerr is a really good preparation for college football. I also think that these kids are more prepared for college football than, for example, when I was coming out of high school. These high school coaches now, you look at Ed Larson at Lehigh, you look at Eric Kerr, these guys are running complex offenses, and not that it's complicated, but it's sophisticated enough that when these guys are going to the next level, they're at least familiar with the concepts that are going on. And I thought Isaac Wilson did a great job of graduating early and going to the University of Utah so he could get into the offense so that he could be ready to go. There's still going to be some growing pains. There's still going to be some things. I tell people all the time, your first day of college practice is probably the most humbling day of your life because, you go from being the stuff weekends are made of at Corner Canyon High School, and you get to college and everybody's good. The other quarterbacks are good, the receivers are good, the DBs are good, and that includes not just in your program, that's in other programs. And so it's a little bit of a jump still, but they're more prepared than they've ever been. And if you're looking to be as prepared as possible playing for Eric Kerr or for Ed Larson down at Lehigh, you're going to be as prepared as possible to play at the next level.
You've seen him play 4 quarters now. What kind of progress do you think he's made in college, and how ready is he if he comes in and doesn't have the big lead, that obviously he's walked on the field with a big lead, so the nerves are going to be different because if he gets the start at 0-0 and the pressure's on him to go get some points.
Well, I think there's been a couple of head scratcher plays from Isaac where he throws the ball and you wonder what he was looking at. I think the biggest jump that he needs to make right now is he's making a lot of good reads. His accuracy and his feet haven't been in place to make the throw when he's made it. I mean, you're talking about the Baylor game last week, and I think some people remember this one, but there was a 3rd and 5. It was a simple out route by his wide receiver, and he airmailed it by like 10 to 12 feet over the receiver's head. And you want to live with that as a head coach and as an offense coordinator because you're like, okay, it was the right read. He had his eyes in the right place. But at a certain point, you got to calm yourself down. You got to start making those throws. And I know he can make those throws. I've seen him make those throws thousands of times at Corner Canyon. But you want to see him relax and settle down, and you want to see it actually, like come to fruition that he's moving the chains. The most important thing that he can do right now, and I think the biggest thing that isn't taught in football is the value of first downs. Like just getting first downs is so huge, and that's how the big plays happen is you just continually get first downs, continually stay consistent, continually make the right play, and then big plays happen. But I think everybody wants to come in and make a big play. They want to throw the ball down the sideline. They want to throw the ball over the top of the defense. And if you can just make those 3rd and 5 throws, and he knows this, his dad knows this, Eric Kerr's telling him this, Ludwig's telling him this, everybody's telling him this. He knows what to do. But as soon as he settles down, I think he's going to be a great quarterback. But right now, there's been a couple of head scratchers where I'm just like, we're throwing the ball there. And then at this point, it's getting his feet right so he can throw the ball correctly and accurately under pressure.
When Travis Wilson was playing quarterback at Utah, I thought that they jerked him around a little bit, and it affected his confidence. He had one big interception game, and then it was, don't throw picks. And then he got in, and he was battling the one kid, Thompson. They were going back and forth, and Christensen was the OC then. And they went at ASU, and they just had him hand off all the time. And it seemed like it was his confidence was shot. What can the coaching staff do to make sure a kid's confidence is not only not shot, but it needs to grow?
Well, as a coach, and I've seen this with different quarterbacks, and the need to take care of the football on offense is important, but you start with little wins, right? You start with the swing routes, you start with the hitches, you start with some screen passes that can get guys into a rhythm. They're kind of what we call extended handoffs, and you try and get them into a little bit of a rhythm, but there is part of this that has to be on the quarterback. And Travis Wilson, I think he earned some of that lack of confidence because of those interception games. And when coaches don't have any other choices, they're gonna demand that you take care of the football. And if you don't take care of the football, they're gonna hand the ball off. And yeah, that can destroy confidence, but coaches are paid to win games, and they're gonna do whatever they have to do with a quarterback to win a game. So in some ways, yeah, it's on the coaches, but sometimes it's on yourself. In psychology, you don't go and try and change the coach, or you don't go and try and change your spouse. You talk to somebody about what changes can they make, what do they have control over, and I think that's what I would say, to Isaac, to any quarterback that's struggling with the coach is, okay, you know what the coach is. You know how he's going to react to things. What can you do personally to make that situation a little bit better? So, yeah, coaches, it's on them. But if they can win a game without throwing a pass and play good defense and special teams, they're going to do it. They're not. It's not little kid football. I know that we're careful in the media, and we're careful about what we say about young men that are playing college football because, it just doesn't feel good to go after a college kid like you would maybe a pro guy that you expect a little bit more out of. But the college coaches are expecting just as much out of a college quarterback as anybody's expecting out of a pro quarterback. So some of this is on Isaac. He's got to make those throws. He will make those throws as he settles down. But as far as the coach goes, I think he's going to do what it takes to win a game. He can do some things like those extended handoffs, but he can't do everything for him.
On the other side of the ball, the Aggies just got shut out by USC. Utah's defense looks really good. How many points do you think the Aggies are going to score in this game? What is the bar set at? If you are going to start a freshman quarterback and he's going to get his first start, you go in the game thinking, what is the score looking like in this? What are you thinking?
Well, I think right now, offensively for Utah State, you're poking and prodding. You're doing the very, very best you can to try and get points. It's a hard thing to play against the University of Utah defense. And a lot of times, one of the things that they're just hoping to do is get some sustained drives and get some confidence going early with some different things. Now, the thing that's scary about a University of Utah defense or a high schedule defense, a high level defense is that you worry about turnovers. And so sometimes that can turn you into a team that's being so conservative and so careful that you can't move the ball. And I think that's what you got to be careful of if you're Utah State is there's a balance between being so conservative that you don't turn the ball over, but you also don't move the ball, and then being so careless with the offense that you turn the ball over early and get way behind. And so you want to poke, you want to prod. You know that there's some things in every defense that has a little bit of weakness, but the hard part about the University of Utah right now is that D-line is really good. They bring the pressure. So if you get yourself behind the chains, with bad first down plays, and then you're in second and long and third and long all game, that can be a scary place for a quarterback. That can be a scary place for an offensive coordinator.
BYU was struggling. I thought they would make a change at quarterback. They didn't. They won the game, so it turned out it was the right decision. What did you think of that? Well,
I in some ways, I admire the decision to keep him in. You like the belief and you like the feeling that you were named the quarterback and that you have a little bit of rope. They ended up winning the game. The defense played lights out. You like that as a quarterback that the coach hung with you and stayed with you. However, when you're the starting quarterback, there's no such thing as like you're the starting quarterback for the year. No one's ever been named the starting quarterback for the year. And what I think has really happened here is the rope is just getting shorter and shorter. You're going to get yanked if you don't start playing a little bit better. He's got to perform in certain levels. Some of the throws were bad luck. Some of the throws were bad throws. And I think it's one of those things where, yeah, you won this one, but people are starting to look at you under a microscope, and that mounts the pressure as a quarterback. And so he's got to respond this week with a good game. He's got to respond this week with a sharp game so that he can kind of get the wolves off his back a little bit. And I'm not talking about just the fans. I'm talking about the coach is going to be looking at him more on a microscope after this game.
Do you buy that the 3-3-5 was a problem and that Wyoming plays more man and somebody like, either Lassiter or Roberts could go off and it makes it way easier on the quarterback this week?
I do buy into that a little bit, and here's why. Man-to-man schemes are not hard to read because what you end up doing is you end up isolating a guy man-to-man, and you find your best matchup. If you're a good enough team, you can handle any of the pressure up front, and your wide receiver is going to win. But there's not a lot of reading that goes on against man-to-man. There's just, do we win the one-on-one matchups? And that's why in the NFL, you see these wide receivers that were pretty good in college that become so good in the NFL because the NFL plays so much man-to-man. And if they're good at one-on-one matchups, they can be really, really good because they're not getting double-teamed, they're not getting bracketed. There's some different things that go on. So I do think there's a little bit to that. And a 3-5-3 defense does cause some problems for a quarterback to be able to kind of find out where the holes are and where the pressure is coming from. And it's not so much that it gives you pressure as a quarterback as to where to throw the ball as it does to make sure that your protection is correct. And so that just uses up a little bandwidth before every single play when you're playing against a 3-5-3. And that makes it a little bit tougher to find the holes in the defense if you're already using up bandwidth on protection. So, yes, I think there can be some things to a man-to-man defense that are a little bit easier, but they've got to win those one-on-one matchups, and he's got to be super accurate in man-to-man or it can lead to turnover.
Riley, we appreciate it as always. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
There is Riley Jensen, college football expert and mental performance coach and a former Aggie quarterback. Coming up, Cody Tucker, founder and publisher of 7220 Sports, covering the Wyoming Cowboys, is going to join us at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.